How's it going, guys? It's Marcus. Today I'm going to be doing a what-if scenario video about Ruby and Sapphire and if they never fused thousands of years ago to form the Garnet we know and love today. I've only done one of these videos before, and it was about how the world of Steven Universe would be if Pink Diamond was never shattered. And I had a lot of fun doing that, so I felt like making another one. I'm going to do my best to cover the important events that would have been different if Ruby and Sapphire never became Garnet. If I missed anything, legitimately important, let me know in the comments. First, I'll give a rundown on how Garnet joined the Crystal Gems in the first place. Basically, Blue Diamond was on Earth while the Rebellion and the War for Earth were taking place, and a Sapphire under Blue Diamond's court went to Blue Diamond's Palanquin with a few Ruby guards to let Blue Diamond know the rebels were going to be attacking the area shortly. Pearl and Rose eventually showed up and were putting in some work against the Ruby Fusion and some other unknown gems trying to fight them. When the Ruby Fusion was poofed, only one Ruby still had her body intact. And just as Pearl was about to lay the finishing blow on Sapphire, the remaining Ruby jumped to Sapphire's aid and they fused to become Garnet. The other homeworld gems in the area were disgusted by them fusing because they never saw a fusion between two different gem types. Blue Diamond threatened to shatter Ruby for fusing with Sapphire since Sapphire was a member of her court and Ruby isn't a member of Blue Diamond's court. So Ruby and Sapphire made their escape into the wild. After spending some alone time together, they realized they missed the feeling of being fused, so they fused again. And Rose found Garnet afterwards in the woods, saying there's nothing wrong with how Garnet is and they shouldn't have to change for anyone. Garnet then became a member of the Crystal Gem team and the later leader of the present day Crystal Gems. So if those two never fused, how would the current story of Steven Universe have differed? I'm going to try to go back as early as possible here when it comes to, the general timeline of the show from like thousands of years ago to present day. So if Garnet never fused, then Garnet would have never joined the team in the first place and wouldn't have been the current leader. Pearl, Rose, and Garnet were the only gems who stayed on Earth that were protected from the Diamond's corruption attack, from Rose's shield. I guess Bismuth was also saved from the corruption attack, but it wasn't from Rose's shield, it was from the bubble. And, Rose didn't have any intention of letting her out of the bubble anyway, so she wasn't really going to stay as a member of the team. And if Garnet was never a part of the team in the first place, maybe Rose would have been able to save another one of her friends, and they would have been the current leader instead of Garnet, or maybe Pearl would have been the current leader. I don't know, maybe one of the gems that could have been saved was Crazy Lace or Snowflake. You remember Crazy Lace and Snowflake? Can't forget Biggs either. Biggs could have been the leader. Garnet also played a bit of a role in the development of Greg and Rose's relationship as well. In the episode We Need to Talk, there was a flashback half of that episode where Greg told Steven and Connie how he tried to fuse with Rose when they were dating. And during that flashback, Garnet gives Greg advice about fusion to help him feel closer to Rose. He has doubts about fusing with Rose at first, but Garnet's pep talk about how he needs to dance his own way and get open and honest with Rose gave him the confidence to try it anyway. Although they didn't fuse since Greg is, fully human, not half gem or any gem at all, the conversation they had after dancing was a major step in their relationship. How, they're both confused, but it really doesn't matter. The fusion didn't work, but as Garnet said, it did work at the same time. The fact this flashback was shown in the series in the first place means it had some major significance in Greg and Rose's relationship. If that whole fusion attempt scenario never went down between those two, they could have broken up down the road and Steven would have never been born to begin with, preventing the entire series from ever happening. The conversation Greg and Garnet had was pretty short, but it was enough to give Greg the confidence to try fusion anyway and move he and Rose's relationship into a better place. So if Greg and Garnet never had this conversation, then, Greg and Rose might have broken up because they didn't become as close from the whole fusion attempt, and then Steven would have never been born. Then none of the major events we cherished will have ever happened. No fight between Garnet and Jasper, no Stronger Than You, no Cookie Cat song, no Stevonnie, none of that. But on the off chance Steven would still be born even if Garnet never gave Greg that pep talk, big events would still change. Like, for example, the last few episodes of Season 1, Jasper and Paramount would have still came to Earth, but this time Garnet wouldn't have been able to defeat Jasper on the ship, causing it to crash, so they could, get back to Earth. Steven, Pearl, and Amethyst would have just stayed on the ship the entire time and would have ended up going back to Homeworld and, very, very well might have been killed by the Diamonds. That is going to be it for this video, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions for any other what-if scenario videos related to Steven Universe, let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you're new to the channel, obviously, subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.